Yeah, I mean, I'm really thrilled to be able to, not obviously a perfect performance. I think at times we just, we screwed around with the game, and I could attribute obviously some of that to Butler. I think, Butler is a team with, just I think a lot of firepower, and I think a team that's going to get better as the year goes on. Obviously, the difference for us was the defense, the rebounding. We shot over 50% from the field. The 15 turnovers are concerning. This is back-to-back games with that, and so that's an area that we've obviously got to clean up, especially when you're shooting 51% from the field. Just the 15 turnovers is very, very discouraging. But I was happy that we finally showed some teeth on the glass, especially in the first half. And then I just wish there was more killer instinct, put a team down, bury a team. We had chances to do it, and then it would go from 23 to 11 or up to 18, back to 14. I mean, we just this team's got to get a killer instinct.
Questions? Stick to the mic. First, for Giles and Dave.
Yeah, Dan, Jaden obviously with the big splash plays and I think all his points in the second half. But even in the first half, I think there was one possession where he kept it alive with a couple of hustle plays. And
Yeah.
Is that kind of define him as much as the dunks do? I mean, just what he brings to the team.
Yeah, I mean, look at it. And Jay Stu, he took that. He came in a little banged up, and then he took that brutal kind of fall in the first half, which obviously knocked him out for the second half. But yeah, I mean, it just you look at the line, man. 8 rebounds. I don't know how many deflections. I don't know how many wall ups at the rim. Obviously, and the thing was, he got, I buried him the last game in coaching era, by ERROR, and even though it is, I guess, my era at UConn right now. But Jaden Ross, only played 9 minutes, and most men, would hang their head and be a baby and, maybe start preparing for the portal. And now you got the families raining down phone calls on your staff, which is just not the way he handled it, not the way they handled it. He just accepted it, got back to work. I told him he'd get his opportunity. He was the first guy, I think, off the bench today, and you saw what he did with his minutes. It was great to see Solo, do what he did. That's obviously very encouraging. But I thought Jaden Ross was our most impactful player today.
Dan, I was going to ask you about Solo and the start he got off to, 17 points in the first half. Felt like he was just putting everything out there and hitting pretty much everything he took. Yeah,
I mean, watch out. He's going to get to the mean. He's going to get. The guy is. He's elite, and I think this was. Just watch out. I think he's going to have a lot of nights like this.
Dan, just to continue on to your left.
What?
Solo, it's not like he has shot extraordinarily poorly or anything, but he hasn't been quite as efficient. He had a career high tonight. How has he handled some of the, the way the season's gone for him thus far, and how important is it for him to have a breakthrough game like this?
Yeah, I mean, it's just the family that Solo comes from. I mean, it just their standards. How accountable they've held him, how hard they've made him work. He comes from a family that has really built him up into a strong man. So, like you, he's not been bothered by, you wouldn't even know dealing with him on a daily basis whether he's shooting 51% from 3 or 15%. The guy has just got the perfect makeup to do sports where. He's got a very confident mind, and It's like a vault. I mean, it's hard to get him to not believe in himself, and just attribute that to it. Just his parents did an unbelievable job.
With Silas, you mentioned he hadn't had the best kind of run over the last few games. Today he was plus 24, he had 7 or 8 assists,
Yeah.
but still the shot wasn't going as much. What was your assessment of his night?
Awesome. And the shot, it'll get there. I think today we played more to his strengths and let him go and just attack more, which, we've made, you're still trying to figure out your team. I mean, you're still trying to figure him out. You're still trying to figure out a lot of things, rotations, what works, offense, defense, lineups. You're still trying to figure it out, at game 12. But I just thought, and I think that, number one, that kid coming here changed our identity. He changed our defense completely, just as being that point of attack defender that is a ball hawk. Now he's got to stay out of foul trouble. But what he's done for our defense, he's the single reason why it went from, the dog shit it was last year to now a defense that's going to have an opportunity to be good enough to win a championship. I was happy to see him get 8 shots and be aggressive and assertive, but, again, 11 assists. 1 or 2 of those turnovers could have been avoided, but I love the aggression, and again, the plus 24 tells the story.
Dan, you had said just yesterday that you weren't rebounding the way championship teams do, and today was a completely different story. Can you talk about how well you rebounded and just the way the 2 big guys played inside for you, and Eric and Terrace?
Yeah, I mean, rebounding is effort. Rebounding, like rebounding the ball or transition offense, transition defense. I mean, those are things that you have to do every single time. And you don't always get a payout on it. Like you got to crash the glass every single possession, even though you may get a rebound 15% of the time. You got to sprint the court in transition, even though you may only get an opportunity to make a play 20% of the time. So, those are just relentless activity things. And, again, this is supposed to be this year a basketball gang that gives absolutely everything they have in pursuit of a championship. And you can't do that unless you are a relentless rebounding team.
Dan, you had a pretty fired up exchange with Eric when he came out at the end of the game. What did you say to him there, and how crucial were his minutes today?
I mean, this guy's growth, like that is just a special, special guy. I mean, he's come, such a long way since the summer, and just how tough he is, and how he's done the things that we've asked him to do. Even with a guy of his skill level, we're asking him to do a lot of things in the paint when the guy's got a lot more things in his bag away from the basket. So him and his ability to just do what the team needs, and he's just got an amazing spirit about him. He's a lot like Donovan in a way, where the guy just comes in and he's got this big smile and so much joy when he plays ball, and and in large part he saved our season when Terrace was down and we're playing all those huge games. I mean, he's a guy. He's a reason why we're in the position that we're in, because of the way he's played.
Dan, Butler came in averaging 90 a game. There was a stretch where they were 4 for 34 first half into second half. What did you like about how you were able just to shut down what they weren't trying to do?
Yeah, I mean, we've got I think a group that's got a chance to be a top 5 defensive group. Again, it starts with Silas Demery, being able to guard Bizjack the way he guarded him. And obviously, with the 2 centers that are both, big and could move in the ball screen defense and can protect the rim. I mean, we had 13 blocks today. We've got obviously the wing length. We're too deep at a lot of positions. So, I mean, that's why we didn't have opportunities to do big things last year, and we've gotten it fixed, and we've got to keep it fixed.
Dan, that alluded to it, but is that combination of rim protection and ball pressure, I mean, is that reminiscent of the championship teams? That's what you wanted to get back to?
I think the team, again, and it's like you got a long way to go, and but I do think it's reminiscent more of that, that 23 team that was 9 deep, and and just, even today, like Mally, Mally had a bad night. Mally has had a bad night, but Mally has, won us some big games. Mally's won us, the Illinois game. He was great. He was great against Florida. He's showed up big for us. And I think that was what made the 23 team special, was that, like, different guys, AK, just, foul trouble. The ball doesn't find them. They're being real physical, off ball. Come on. So I think that 23 team just had so many guys, off the bench. Joey California, Naheem Aline. The bench was deep. Different starters could carry you on every given night. That's why I think it's got some of that 23 team.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned this at the top, but what was Jalen's? What's the situation with his shoulder coming into the game, and then are you concerned that he could be out for a bit after this?
I don't really know what was going on in there. I do know that they just grabbed me at halftime. He took that brutal fall in transition, and so I think it's a shoulder, but he did come in just a little bit banged up. Like we kind of wanted to, see what he could do out there, but he I guess he'll MRI it in the morning and see what that looks like.
Coach, Butler came out with that 9-0 run and seemed to catch your transition defense sleeping a bit. What adjustments did you make in that area that led to getting back in front and not look back? That
was just total bullshit. Just total joke. To start a game, Big East opener at home, where we score on a lob, and then they dunk the ball. And they dunk the ball on a made lob dunk to start the game. That's... Championship teams don't do that. That doesn't happen to them. So obviously we're not there yet. We were on our heels. Credit them. They really got downhill and attacked us. But that was just an unacceptable way to start a game for UConn, and they heard about it in the huddle. And I thought the response was, we basically spotted them 7 points and then got it to 16. There, and then what was it, 14 at halftime or whatever it was. So I liked our response. But again, that's not being a killer. You've got to be a killer in sports and in basketball, and you can't start a game like that. Roger?
Did you like the way Terrace battled inside against their big guys? He played pretty physical today.
He did. It's just, again, it's rust. It's rust, it's practice reps. He's feeling good enough, and that's, I think, just speaks to just Terrace Reed there. He's 8 for 11, 16 points, 3 blocks. Obviously, the turnovers, he just got loose with the ball and just started screwing around with it, which he can't do, especially because they weren't trapping. They were letting him play one-on-one. But I just think, he's getting closer to where we need him to be. He's now healthy enough to get practice reps. He's going to get better and better as the year goes on. We need him to play like an All-American. This is a guy that's he's going to be a draft pick at the end of the year, and he's one of the best centers in the country, and we'll get him there. The rust is definitely coming off. Thanks, you.